Sup guys, Heeking here, bringing you some new RE news. Well, technically it's speculation news. So before I begin, remember to like and subscribe, please. And yeah, as always, remember to take this with a grain of salt. I had a few people comment, be like, "Oh, this is a leak. This is just speculation or rumors." It's like, yeah, it's always rumor videos, and that it's never confirmed to be 100% real. I've always said take this with a grain of salt. I don't get why people are commenting when I literally say in the video take with a grain of bloody salt. It's like, why are you taking it as fact? Like, I've never said this is legit. I said this might be legit. So kind of weird that people, get mixed up on that. It's like news common sense. But yeah, before I also begin, I hope everyone had a good Christmas, and I hope you all had a good New Year. And yeah, we're going into 2025. Hopefully, with the assumption that we're gonna get some RE news soon, and we might be getting some RE news soon. But again, this is based on someone's speculation, not fact. So we have no idea if this is legit or not. It could be legit, and we're gonna discuss why it could be legit and why it might not be. I'm more on the side that it might be true, but we'll see as we go through this. Anyway guys, let's go through what we're gonna here to discuss. So yeah, Dusk Golem, our most reliable RE leaker ever, as you can note the sarcasm, has graced us yet again on Twitter with a new post where he pretty much said it's speculation. It's a speculation post. It's not him confirming anything, but every news outlet or whatever is running with the assumption he's telling the truth, and it's like, he literally said, this is speculation on his part. This isn't a leak. This isn't a rumor. This is just stuff he thinks could happen, but it might not. So it's a bit weird. Everyone's like, oh, he's confirmed this, and it's like, he hasn't confirmed shit. What is wrong with you people? Like, you jump on this on the next thing, and you're like, oh yeah, this is news, and it's like, it's not news. It's not news. It's speculation, for crying out loud. But yeah, let's go through for his post and see what he has to say. And this is to do with RE0 apparently. So yeah, the RE0 remake that's apparently happening. Which again, I need to remind people that both IGN and Andy Robinson collaborated Dusk's post saying that yes, there is in fact an RE0 remake and a Code Veronica remake coming out. It is happening. Those are the games Capcom is working on. Which also lines up with what Capcom said when RE4 Remake came out in 2023, that they were working on remakes, on other remakes, on other RE title remakes. They didn't say remake, they said remakes. Which it's like, okay, yeah, news common sense. They're working on multiple RE remakes. What are those going to be? It's pretty obvious what it's going to be when you sit down and think about it. But yeah, let's go through this then, guys. Let's go through this. So, starting up, we got Dusk's post here. So yeah, so here's some educated speculation. But it is speculation. See, he's letting us know it's speculation. People are running with, oh, this is fact. It's not. It's not. But it is speculation on how I personally believe Resident Evil stuff is going to go down in the next couple of years. So, Scream Gems Constantine Films have a contract that to retain the rights to the Resident Evil brand for filmmaking, they need to release a new Resident Evil film every 5 years. Fine, so cool. So, the new Resident Evil film directed by Zach Kreger that starts filming pretty soon basically needs to release before physical year 2026. Before physical year 2026 is up, since Welcome to Raccoon City released in 2021. It's been heavily rumored, leaked, this film is an adaptation of Resident Evil 0 with Rebecca and Billy starring in it. So yeah, there's been a lot of rumors regarding this Resident Evil 0 movie since Welcome to Raccoon City was released back in 2021. So there's been rumors for this for a while now, and I think since last year and even 2023, it's been a bit more rampant since then, with the rumors circulating that this was going to be a prequel movie to Welcome to Raccoon City, starring Rebecca and Billy, and even Ada Wong apparently. Or it might not be, we don't really know. But other rumors have said that it's going to be called Umbrella Chronicles. Other rumors have said that Paul W.S. Anderson was coming back to produce a rebooted series of Resident Evil that would be more accurate to the games, starting with Resident Evil 0. I don't know how true that is. I don't know. This is saying that what's his name? Zach Kreger is doing it. I believe Zach Kreger is. Let me look that name up. Let's see. Zach Krager. Zach Krager. See, I got a little phone stand just now, and I'm making use of it. Zach. I believe he's the guy who did. I think it's him. He's the guy who did Barbarian. He did that horror movie Barbarian. He looks like a really young guy as well. They want to get him to do this. And yeah, he wrote and directed the horror film Barbarian. Yeah. So, and now apparently he's going to do the Resident Evil reboot movie. But he's a producer. He's not the writer or director. He's producing it. So I guess Paul W. Anderson is out then, if he's not producing it. But apparently, if this is true and they need to release a movie every 5 years, then it needs to start filming this year then. So there's been a lot of rumors that it's going to be filming in Africa and that. No idea if it's true or not, but yeah. Continuing on, the Switch successor is also on the cusp of being revealed, likely released this year. I think it's highly likely that Capcom will strike a marketing deal with Nintendo on their big reimagining of RE0. It should make a good entry point to the franchise, the beginning of the story, and a big name AAA game to release in the Switch successor's launch year. I do think RE0 will release on everything, either at once or eventually, however. Okay, so yeah, there's been a rumor suggesting, I don't know if it was started by Dusk Golem or not, but again, this is speculation on his part, and I think it might hold a bit of truth to it. There were rumors a few years ago that there was supposed to be like a Rebecca game coming out, and a lot of people were saying it was going to be that Outrage game that was cancelled. So no idea what happened to that. But now the other rumors are suggesting, oh, this could have actually been the RE0 remake. Now Dusk himself has said that the RE0 remake is being developed by the same guys who worked on RE3 remake and helped out on the Separate Ways DLC. So, and it consists of people who worked on the original RE0 to begin with. So it kind of makes sense they would give RE0 to them to do, because RE0 as a whole is a very short game. It's very simple to remake, essentially. But you gotta keep in mind, these remakes we're getting aren't essentially remakes, they're reimaginings, okay? They're remakes / reimaginings. So they're doing a lot more legwork on them in order to recreate the story and reimagine it to integrate it better into a new sort of storyline. So we've already had 2, we've had 3, and we've had 4 now, and Separate Ways. So yeah, at this point it's like, yeah, what's next? And again, it kind of makes sense for them to remake RE0 next, along with Code Veronica, because you got to think about the the survival horror genre. Okay, like Capcom wants to sell survival horror to its fan base and to new fans. They want to continue with that. They don't want to just jump straight into another action game with RE5 remake. That wouldn't make any sense. RE4 remake was pretty much built up to a lot with RE2 and RE3 remake. So now I imagine they're going to do the same thing here with RE5 remake, which is build up to it. And it makes sense to do that because if you're creating a new game for new fans, you want the new fans to know who Wesker is and what his beef with Chris is and that. So you need to develop that. So it kind of makes sense that you would go back and remake RE0 and Code Veronica next, because those are the only other 2 games that don't have remakes, and they're survival horror games with zombies in them. So that's 3 things in there, okay? Like, no remakes, survival horror, zombies. So it kind of makes sense they would remake that. And I also do strongly feel like they will remake RE1 again, because, again, that needs a reimagining, not a remake. Again, these are reimaginings, not technically remakes. So it kind of makes sense they would sit down and be like, okay, we're going to reimagine RE1 now as well. Because if they're doing RE0 remake, they're going to do RE1 remake as well. It just makes sense. It just makes sense. When you use common sense, it makes sense for them to do that. And then we get RE5 remake after we've gotten those 3 games. Because after those 3 games, that's it. There's no more zombie games. There's no more survival horror. Because the rest of it is pretty much action genre. Like, because we get the RE5 remake, and then after that, what's left? What's left to do? Think about it. What's left to do? RE6? I don't think they would jump straight to RE6 after RE5. I think they will remake Revelations 1 and 2. Because again, they are a mix of survival horror and survival action. Those games are mixed. Like, they got the mix of action and horror. But when you think of old school Resident Evil, like really old school and zombie titles specifically, 0, 1, and Code Veronica, those are the last 3 to do. And after that, there's really nothing there anymore in terms of survival horror, because everything is now sort of a mix of action and horror, basically. So it kind of makes sense for them to do that, and for Capcom to sort of postpone the inevitable before they finally get to RE5 Remake. And as for RE0 being a Switch exclusive, it makes, like I said, it makes sense, because the early rumors were that the Rebecca game, if it was even a Rebecca game, was meant to be a Switch 1 exclusive. It didn't pan out. So maybe it's a case of they went back to the drawing board, they decided to remake RE0, and that's going to be the Switch 2 exclusive for a year, because apparently that's the idea. It's going to be a yearly exclusive before it comes to every console. But Dusk here says he's clearly saying he's not really sure. I do think RE will on everything either at once or eventually. So yeah, it is going to be multi-platform. It's just a case of, will it be multi-platform after a year? Or is it going to be multi-platform at once? Or is it a case of, oh, the game comes out on Switch first, and then we get on every other console a few months after that? Moving on, I think there's not a better time to release RE0 Remake than now. They get to tie it to the series' 30th anniversary as the beginning of the saga, tie it with the live action film that needs to release, and be a bigger new AA release on the Switch successor in launch year. Yeah, that actually kind of makes, again, it's speculation on his part, but when you think about it, it sort of makes sense for them to do that. It's a nice marketing strategy as well, because then you get the RE0 Remake, you get the RE0 movie, you get to release it alongside it. That sort of happened similar to what they did with Prince of Persia. You know, they had that when that live action movie came out, they had a new game release alongside it, but that game was basically integral. Basically, it was a sequel to Sands of Time, but it took place before Warrior Within. So it was basically a new game chapter in that original trilogy, essentially. But that's what they did. You know, I think it was called The Forgotten Sands. I never played it, unfortunately, which is kind of a shame. I didn't give that a chance, but I just felt like it was a cash grab to the movie. That's what it felt like. But apparently, it was a legit game set between that, like, part of that. So yeah, I can see them sort of doing a similar situation here, where it's like, yeah, we're going to release a game as well alongside the movie at the same time. So it kind of makes sense. And plus the 30th anniversary is literally next year, so it kind of makes sense for them to do that. And moving on, however, RE9 is also on the horizon, and I think Capcom want to release in 2026. This is fully up to Capcom, but I can see them possibly doing a 30-year anniversary celebration with RE9 and RE0, the beginning and ending of the saga for this era of RE, a theme of beginnings and endings, properly the live action Constantine film, and I wouldn't be surprised by a CG film tied to RE9 to come into it as well. And this functions as a sort of 30-year anniversary celebration to the series. To see how Capcom decides to play it, though. Okay, that was a bit weird. How to see how Capcom decides to play it, though. Okay, a bit weird, but yeah, I feel like again, when you use common sense and logic, it kind of makes sense maybe that Capcom is going to go into this route, because apparently, if you believe Dusk Golem, right, he's saying that I think there's a post on here. Yeah, you think RE0 Remake will come before RE9? And someone asked him this, and then he replied, they're both going to wrap up development really close together now. So really, it's completely in Capcom's ballpark to choose how they want to go about it. So yeah, apparently they're going to be completing development, which makes sense again, because if the main team is doing RE9 and the side team is doing RE0, it kind of makes sense. It makes logical sense. And as for them doing 2 games maybe reveal, that's the thing. Are they going to reveal 2 games at once? And that's the big question. When are they going to reveal this? Here's my thoughts on this, right? I think we're going to get, okay, let me just wrap this up. His last post here. Just for full context, as the last tweet gets spread, it is speculation on my part. I don't know Capcom's current marketing plans, and I haven't been updated on Zero in a hot minute. So take it as the speculation it is, working with some old pieces of info. So yeah, he's letting us know this is speculation, this is not confirmation. So guys, take this with a grain of salt. This is not a leak, this is not a rumor, this is speculation, okay? Take it as it is. Like, don't take it legit and use some common sense to this. People aren't using common sense. But yeah, moving on. So yeah, is Capcom going to reveal 2 RE games this year then? That's the big question, because if this is coming out in 2026, the RE9 is 100% getting revealed this year. The big question is when. Now, let me see. I actually tried to figure this out myself personally when it comes to state of play. Right now, we have a rumored state of play. Okay, we have a rumored state of play apparently happening this month. Now, Sony has done state of plays in the following. They did one state of play in January. They've done 4 state of plays in February. 2 of those were for Pacific games, Gran Turismo 7 and Final Fantasy Rebirth. They've done 3 state of plays in March. One of them was for Hogwarts Legacy. They've done 2 in April. One was for Final Fantasy 16. They've done 6 state of plays in May. 4 of those were the following: Ghost of Tsushima, Last of Us 2, Horizon 2, and one of them was a PlayStation showcase. There was 2 in June, and one of those was the PlayStation 5 showcase. They had 1 in July, they had 1 in August, they've had 6 in September. 2 of those were PlayStation showcases. They've had 1 in October, they've had 1 in November, which was for Demon's Souls Remake, and they've had 1 in December. So let's see. We've got apparently a Nintendo reveal on Thursday, going by the time, so that's basically tomorrow. And then we've got the Xbox Direct next week on Thursday, on the 23rd apparently. So let's see what would be, well, logically, if there's a state of play, it would be the week after that, wouldn't it? So what, the 25th, 26th, so from the 27th then onwards, before the month ends. And what, 27, 28, 29, yeah, I think it might happen. It might, if they've got the other 2 events. Maybe Sony wants to reveal something. But the quick question is, would Capcom reveal anything during that event? I'm gonna say, I don't know. It depends. If RE0 Remake is going to be a Switch exclusive, you would probably expect that to be in the review for tomorrow, right? Or maybe they do another review where they actually talk about their game. Because I feel like if Switch 2 is getting revealed, they're just going to focus on Switch 2. And then we get a later date for games and that. And I feel like Capcom doesn't want to talk about their next games, until after Monster Hunter comes out in March. So honestly, I'm expecting a review. And when is Monster Hunter coming out anyway? Like, when's the actual date for that game? Well, it actually says here it's coming out on the 28th of February. So it's coming out in February, not March. But other release dates have put it on March. So I'm a bit confused on that. So then realistically, maybe we get a reveal in March. That means we get a state of play in March. And like I've already said, they've done 3 state of plays in March, so it's very possible. I'm technically expecting a state of play in June for them to, because again, I'm always going with the June theory, because they've done that with 7, 2 Remake, 8, and 4 Remake. Those were all June events. But if Capcom wants to celebrate the 30th anniversary, and it's the 30th anniversary, it would kind of make sense they want to go big and maybe celebrate a lot of things. So if there's a new movie coming out, yeah, and if they want to, and if RE0 Remake is being done, yeah, they would want to get it out of the way, wouldn't they? So they would probably reveal that alongside RE9. But that's the question: when? And I keep saying it, I don't think it's going to happen until after Monster Hunter. So I'm expecting at least March. Between March and June, that's when I think we'll get a reveal, and it'll be at a state of play or a PS showcase. 0 is a bit harder to figure out because it could technically be revealed alongside the Switch 2. And then of course they reveal later on the same day that it's coming out on Switch 2, but it's multi-platform. So I don't know how they're going to do it. I don't know how it works. But that's my big guesses, because if RE9 is coming out next year, we're getting a reveal 100% this year. It's happening this year. It's just a matter of when. And like I'm saying right now, I'm expecting it in either March or June. And I do think we'll get 2 reveals. We'll get RE0 Remake and RE9 announced at the same time. What's interesting is saying what Dusk said is it's kind of interesting. He said, oh, RE0 is like the beginning of the saga, and then RE9 is the end of the current saga, because a lot of people are like, so what does that mean? Is this going to be the final? Because Dusk himself said after RE8 release that RE9 was being planned to be the final RE numbered game. Don't know how true that is. Yeah, beginning and ending of the saga for this era of RE. For this era of RE, technically. I can see it happening. I can see it. I can see Capcom doing this. But I don't know if they would reveal them both at the same time, or if they're gonna have like a break in between. So because if RE0 is a Switch exclusive, right, for a year, that could technically be revealed first. And then they will reveal RE9 later on, like they usually do in a June event. And then what would be funny about that is if RE0 Remake does end up coming out this year eventually for Nintendo Switch 2, it would technically come out next year for multi-platform for all the other consoles, in time for the 30th anniversary. So then you're getting 2 RE games next year, RE0 and RE9. Which again, I'm thinking, I'm trying to think, is this logical? Would this technically happen? And it's like, yeah, probably. Like I said, it really all depends on when the game is revealed and when it's releasing. If it's revealed very early this year, I can see a late release for RE0 Remake, like around maybe October or November, right? For that. If we get a reveal, very early reveal this year, like soon as, like between now and March, say. If not, and it is multi-platform day one, then I can easily see, again, I can easily see the game coming out at the end of this year, and then we get RE9 towards maybe mid, around, let me, wait, when was the actual release date for Resident Evil? Let me see. Because that's another thing you need to take into account. Maybe they would want to release it on the anniversary, right? So the original Resident Evil 1 came out on the 22nd of March, 1996. Honestly, I can see that being Resident Evil 0's release date. Maybe. I can. Like, it really depends. Like, if it is coming out this year, it'll be a late release in 2025, and then that will be March will be the date for Resident Evil 9. I can see maybe that, but it really depends what gets revealed first or not and how they're gonna do it. That's my speculation. That's my predictions. It might not even happen. We might not even get a reveal this year. We might not, again, because I was so sure we would get a reveal last year and it didn't happen. When it didn't happen in June last year, I was pretty much at that point where I was like, okay, they're gonna keep this for the 30th anniversary. So. And I was right. We didn't get any reveal after that, so it's like, okay, this is. And I feel like if this game is coming out next year, it will be a reveal. I know I'm saying it might not even happen. Like, I could be wrong again, but no, I do think it is gonna happen. It's just when. It's definitely this year. It's just when, because you also got to keep in mind they revealed RE3 Remake in December. And then they released it 4 months afterwards. So I feel like that's something that's a similar situation that could happen to RE0 Remake. Again, it's being made by the side team, it's a shorter game, etc, etc. I feel like that's what will happen with that. We get a reveal for that early this year for a late release this year. RE9 gets its reveal in June, like all the other games have, for a March release next year. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm going to go with. Let's see if I'm right on that. But yeah, guys, those are my thoughts on this. As always, remember to like and subscribe. Take this with a grain of salt. I have to keep saying this now because there are some idiots who are like, "Oh, you lie." It's like, I didn't lie. I said this in my video. This is not confirmation. This is speculation. It's like, come on, guys, use your brains. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see if this all pans out or not. We'll see. Alright, guys, take care and bye. Take care and bye.